You know, think about it. When was the last time you took a Uber ride or a Lyft and you thought, hey, maybe this guy's a serial killer? Hey guys, welcome back. I know I have been away for a while, and that's mainly because I've been busy with work and like stuff in my life, so I'm sorry for that, but I am back and I finally watched this movie called Ryde, and it has a pretty interesting premise, and that is basically like Uber or Lyft, you know, it's kind of like a taxi service, except, you know, it's just anybody that has an Uber or a Lyft app. Should be simple, right? But not in this movie. This movie is basically about a serial killer named Paul who starts driving Ryde because he thinks that it's an easier way for him to find women to kill. Now, don't get me wrong, he kills men, but his main target is women. In a way, this movie kind of made me think of Ted Bundy, except he was driving a ride or an Uber or whatever, because the guy looks pretty good, I'm not gonna deny that, and then he's picking up all these women, taking them on rides or whatever, but at the same time, for some freaking reason, he decides to kill him. Now, I'm not gonna talk about the plot itself a whole lot because it's pretty simple. Like I said, you know, he drives a ride, he picks up people, or women in this case, and just kills them. Now, we do have a final girl in this movie, which we really don't focus on her a lot compared to like other slasher films, because, you know, once we have a final girl, we really focus on her story and the movie revolves around her. But not in this movie. It actually revolves around the serial killer himself. But the final girl, Jasmine, in this movie doesn't really have a lot of screen time, I would say. She's mainly with her boyfriend out at parties, at her friend's party, and her boyfriend's like a douchebag or whatever, and he is pretty annoying, I'm not gonna lie about that. We don't see her as much in the movie. We kind of get a little backstory to her, you know, as to, you know, who she's with, you know, her friends and all that stuff. It's basically them going out all night, just getting different rides here and there. Now, one thing that did bug me about this movie a lot actually was that there was no purpose as to why the serial killer was doing what he was doing. And now, obviously, I know serial killers' minds are tricky, and, you know, obviously not a lot of people understand how they work or, you know, what causes them to kill. But in this movie, there literally is no backstory to Paul at all. So that's one thing that kind of frustrated me towards the end. It's basically him driving around, and I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again, but that's literally the movie. You know, he's just driving around town, picking up strangers and killing them. Now, the movie itself, I can't say that it was bad. I honestly wanted to kind of hate this movie, but aside from the main actor in this movie, which is Paul, who was played by David Watts, I think he did pretty good. You know, there's a lot of the scenes where he's like killing these people is pretty interesting. I mean, it's messed up that I'm saying that, but he was really into his role. Like, you know, you can see like some kind of psychopathic side to him. Like, you know, he's just murdering people. There's a scene where he's punching this girl to death. I mean, like, he's punching her so much that he like decapitates her. I don't know how that works, but it literally happened, and I thought it was pretty cool. It does get gory in the death scenes, and I really like that. I mean, a lot of the practical effects for me did work in this film, and for its low budget, guys, I mean, I actually like a lot of the death scenes in this one. We actually open up with a death scene, kind of like, you know, showing us who he really is, and it was pretty interesting to watch. I mean, like, the way that they do the death scenes, I think they were pretty cool. But now I want to get into the other characters in the movie, which are basically the people that get killed, or just, you know, like the extras, or just different ride drivers or whatever, because they were kind of just terrible. Like, honestly, besides Paul and Jasmine, which I think Paul did a better job than Jasmine in acting wise, I think that nobody was up there with them. Like, it felt like they were the only two actors in this film. But the biggest thing for me in this movie was that there was no backstory. And sometimes, you know, that's okay. But in this case, it just kind of felt like, okay, here, let's just put a camera with this guy driving around town killing people. And that's basically what you get with this film. But guys, those are my thoughts overall on this film. Like I said, I was interested. I didn't hate it, but, you know, if you like low budget slasher films, that I would check it out. I'm giving this one a 2.6 out of 5. It's definitely not going to be on my fresh radar, but at the same time, I did find it interesting. I think you should check it out if you like slasher films, and also if you're into like low budget films. So guys, with that said, please share your craziest Uber or Lyft ride, or, you know, if you had any crazy moments with any of those drivers, leave them down in the comments. But if you guys are new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the little bell button at the bottom. Also, if you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with some of your friends. Also, if you think that they should check this movie out or something like that, share this video with them. Maybe they'll get an idea of what this movie is kind of about. It's pretty straightforward, obviously. But as always, guys, stay tuned.